Well, hey there, my friend. Welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten. If you're new around here, I won't say welcome back. I'll just say welcome. Thank you for listening to us today. Thank you for joining in. Today's episode, I'm going to share a spark that I heard from one of my favorite speakers and authors, but something I believe in, something I believe so strongly in. And when I heard it, I actually laughed out loud because I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want to talk about. And I actually had this topic on the podcast schedule for today. And what it is talking about retail excellence and how are we showing up and how are we making sure that we are running an awesome business, an awesome retail business. So I'm going to share the quote I heard today from one of my favorite authors and speakers. And I'm going to share some strategy and tips today with you because you're already awesome. You know that. So we're going to continue to be awesome, but we're going to talk about how to do awesome on purpose. Okay, let's dig in. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Okay, before I dig in, I don't know, are we digging in? Are we diving in? What are we doing here? Before we do that today, I have to mention that it's another one of those really noisy days outside of my studio. And to say studio, it's my office. My office is in my house. I am recording this episode on a really beautiful day. I'm looking out and watching boats bob. I've had some of you ask me, what's life like in Nova Scotia where you live, Wendy? And I'm literally watching lobster fishing boats outside my window, like legit lobster fishing boats and waves. And I get to see the ocean quite far. It's just gorgeous. But with the ocean sometimes comes seagulls. And it doesn't happen often. Some of you may remember Seagull Cape, the caper from a couple of years ago when there was actual like a seagull caught on the rooftop deck outside my window, outside of my office. But that's not happening today. What's happening today is there are a lot of seagulls around, so you might hear them in the background is where I'm going with all this. And you know what? We're just going to leave all this in as I'm babbling to give you a little snippet of what life is like here in my little studio office here in Nova Scotia. So there you go. A lot of people say that they find it funny that I live in a fishing village. I do get to travel the world. I do get to work with amazing retailers. I have listeners from all over the world. And yeah, I get to do it on purpose. We decided to move to this little tiny cottage by the sea. So if you're new around here, I don't normally babble, but here I am babbling. And yeah, I live in a cottage, a literal crooked cottage by the sea that we ran away from home in 2017 to live in. And that's a whole other podcast episode. But anyhow, I want to talk today about being awesome. So here's the quote I heard. The quote was from Jon Acuff. So Jon Acuff has written several books. I have seen him speak. I love him. I think he's funny and interesting and smart. And he talks a lot about goals and not lingo. That is Jeff Shaw's book. Soundtracks. Soundtracks is the name of one of my favorite books from Jon Acuff. And it's like the soundtracks and the things that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell ourselves in the head and how to switch them and flip them over. And here's a soundtrack that I want you to write down, and I want you to pop up on your computer or on your notebook or on your phone or wherever you need to put it. Mine is literally on a sticky note in front of me right now on my computer. And here's the quote. Awesome is never accidental. So awesome is never accidental. So if you're running a business, if you're running a life, which you are running your life, right? It needs to be awesome. And we get to choose to make it awesome. Awesome doesn't just happen. And I have had stories recently of people saying, oh, she's so lucky, regarding some of my clients that are doing really well and really successful. And let me tell you, success is not accidental. Awesome is never accidental. Running a retail that is, in excellence is not accidental. It's on purpose, right? So we want to run a business and a life on purpose that align with our values and that just feel really good. This is my goal for you. This is my intention in life. It's the impact, the ripple I'm trying to make in the world right now is to help you run a really wonderful, awesome business and life, right? So awesome is never accidental. So we get to make choices, right? So life and business on purpose, and again, aligned into the things that we want. So we don't want to be average. We don't want average businesses. We don't want average lives. So you've probably heard the quote before, mediocre is not, it's not what we're striving for. Average is not what we're striving for. If you are average or you are mediocre in your business, the customers are they're just not going to care about you. And that's not what you're striving for. So just putting a sign out front and doing one part of the retail ecosystem that we talk about, running our business, we just can't be mediocre. We just can't put the sign out and say, I hope people come in. There's so much more, as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast, there's so much more to running a retail business. So we need to make sure that we are on purpose and we are awesome for our customers' experience and with our staff, with our displays and our inventory, with your paycheck. We want that to be awesome, right? So we just need to make sure, and again, I just want to reiterate, we get to decide this. It's not luck. So I'm saying this all because I keep hearing people say, well, again, she's so lucky or whatever. So let's demythify. That's not a word. let's debunk that myth. So being intentional, first of all, starts with understanding what you want for yourself, for your brand, for your customer. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you. How can you be awesome for yourself? First and foremost, what is it that you want? What does awesome look like? What does a successful life and business look like for you? Second of all, what does that look like for your brand? What does that look like for your brand? What does an awesome brand even look like for you? And what is the experience, and first and foremost, for your customer? This is often overlooked. So we want to make sure that we understand, what does awesome look like for our customer? So a couple of things that I just wanted to mention, again, back to the she's so lucky. And this episode comes because, and it was on my agenda, and then I heard Jon Acuff say that, and I was like, oh, it all kind of ties together, because she's so lucky is literally, I have this written down 10 times on my notes here for this episode, because I hear it all the time. She's so lucky, though. She's in the right location. She's so lucky. She has great inventory. She's so lucky her staff is awesome. She's so lucky customers come in the door. I'm going to call BS, and I've done it before in the podcast here. Here's why she's so lucky. She's planning out her marketing. She is spending time understanding 90-day planning. She's sitting down and she's doing her 90-day planning. And if this is you, high five. She's learning new skills. These are 3 big ones: marketing, 90-day planning, planning out what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, what's happening, and learning new skills. She's up-leveling. She's showing up for coaching sessions. She's asking questions. She's reviewing her numbers. She's getting uncomfortable doing things that she's not good at, and she's leveling up her skills. That's why she's so lucky. And I say she. Could be he, they, whoever. Right? If you have something in your head that you are wondering about, how can you make your business awesome? We do these things. We do these things consistently, and we're just consistent with these things all the time. We are planning out our marketing so that people know we exist. We are learning new skills because we are always evolving as humans, and we always need to be evolving our skills. New level, new devil, we kind of say in the business, right? If you are self-employed, you are forever and always going to be leveling up your skills. And if you are staying still and you are not doing that, you're going to go backwards. Like if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. I like personally, I have several coaches. I'm investing in training all the time. Like I have dedicated time for leveling up my skills all the time, right? That's what we do. And planning out 90 days at a time. And I say this is our CEO 90-day planning. It's just a game changer. It's just how we get to be awesome. Understanding where we're spending our time is the biggest one. So we're doing the work, right? She's doing the work, or they're doing the work, and everyone's doing the work. But like business by design, not intention. And here's where I'm going to segue just to one section of being awesome. Let's talk about customer experience. Let's just take that one piece of being awesome, one area that we need to be awesome. First of all, your customers are the only thing that matter. Your customers' experience with your business is really the only thing that matters. What you need matters, like the rent needs to get paid, all the things that need to happen in your business it all comes from the customer choosing you to choosing to show up and spend money at your shop. So thinking about your customer experience and thinking about how can we make this more awesome. Again, they pay the bills. Customers get to decide every day. They vote with their money. I say this all the time. The customers vote with their money. And the very most loyal customer sometimes leaves. And you got to wonder why. Why does that person leave? Why did they leave, right? Like what is happening? And I'm going to tell you that a lot of times it's because of experience. And I recently read a really cool report. I don't know if that's the right word. I sound very official here. I recently read, and I'm always looking for stats and I'm always looking at information. And it was really, really interesting to me about customer experience and consistency. So when we're thinking about an experience maybe that you have with a restaurant, let's talk about a restaurant. And you go in, it's your favorite restaurant, it's your local, it's the place you go all the time, and you have like feel good feelings about going there and you love it and you want to keep going. It's a new place. Like if a new place opens, are you going to go? And here's the deciding factor. Sometimes the deciding factor is because, well, our regular place we like and we're loyal to them and we're fond of them, but it's inconsistent. It's sometimes good, it's sometimes bad. And I'm like totally thinking of a place right now in my neighborhood that I like. Sometimes we get served by great people. And then there's a couple of wait staff that we go in and we're like, oh, I hope we don't get her because, she's grumpy. We actually have a grumpy face girl that we call like, oh, there's grumpy face. She served us today. That's not cool. That's not cool. We can't have that in our business. You need to make sure that you are standing in leadership in your business and that the culture, and we'll go through all of that in a second, but thinking about your business or thinking about that local restaurant that I'm talking about, like a favorite place that you have, and the occasional time when you don't feel like it's consistent. It's not consistent. It's kind of making you like, eh. So if a new shiny place opens up, you might be going over there, even if you are loyal. So the stats that I read, 81% of customers say that they'll switch brands or stores or restaurants if they believe someone else will give them a better experience. So 81%. And I believe this to be true because I believe this of myself. I wonder if you believe it of yourself as well too. So you have to pay attention to your products, your service, their experience, and be consistently awesome in all of these areas. Awesome is never accidental, right? So we have to pay attention. The products that we're serving, the service that we are giving, the experience that our customers are experiencing always has to be consistent. And how does this happen? This happens if we are really stepping into our role in leadership, if we are consistent with our systems and we're consistent with our standards. Store standards. I talk about this so much, and there's a whole masterclass inside my inner circle that so many people roll their eyes at, and it sounds really boring, but standards, the way the music is, the way that we serve customers, the way it smells, the way it looks, the things we do, and how clean it is, all of these things are standards. This is part of your business. Like, this is what makes me as your customer know that the standards, I need to trust that it's going to be good all the time. Your brand culture, like, this is what we do around here. This is how we serve people. This is how we bend over backwards. This is how we are awesome. This is how we are awesome. Awesome is never accidental, right? So our customers' retail experience in our brand is so important now more than ever. We talk about experience all the time. We talk about how we do that. This is an entire module inside our inner circle, inside our retail sales accelerator program. We have to make sure that awesome is never accidental. We have to make sure that our customers, even those most loyal ones, like I am with my restaurant, my local restaurant, are never frustrated. Like, they're not frustrated. We don't want them to slowly slip away, right? We work really hard. We have great products, great service. We think we do, but we need to always be paying attention to awesome. So awesome is never accidental. And she's not just lucky, right? She's not just lucky. She's doing the work. So all of this to remind you, and today's takeaway is, it's up to us as the CEO to make sure that we are planning out we're not just luck. We are literally sitting down. We are planning out our marketing. We are planning out and learning new skills for ourselves as the CEO. We are making sure our staff are on board. We are doing 90-day planning in advance. Like, all of this helps make us awesome, that we are setting the standards, that we are showing leadership, that we have systems in place. This is really important. This is how your business stays in business. This is how your brand survives. This is how you stay awesome. And we do not lose people. We just gain people, because then what happens? Word gets out. They're so awesome. It's such a great place, right? So we need to have the discipline of being awesome. And again, awesome is never accidental. So your one task today, maybe think of an area in your business that you would like to level up, that you would, as a CEO, your role, where could you be a little more awesome? Because we all can, right? There's all places all over the place. Where inside our business can we just raise up the bar, raise up our standards just a little tiny bit, and be more awesome? How can we be more awesome? And number two, I don't usually give you two things to do, but I want to remind you, take a piece of paper, a little sticky note, write down this word, these 4 words. Awesome is never accidental. If you run that soundtrack through your head, thank you, Jon Acuff. If you run that soundtrack through your head, you will consistently want to raise your standards, right? So I'm encouraging you to remember, awesome is never accidental. And if you want to raise your standards, and you want to be awesome, because you do, right? I would like to invite you again. This is what we do. This is the work we do inside my program, the Retailers Inner Circle program. We have masterclasses to help you with your standards. We have all the things. But whether you join or you don't join, I still want you to be awesome. I want to thank you for being here. You're awesome for being here. You're awesome for wanting to thinking about raising those standards. So cool things are coming ahead. This can be a great next half of the year. But we have to be awesome. We have to remember that our customers, they get to choose, and they want an awesome experience. So awesome is never accidental. Thank you, Jon Acuff, for that. And with that, I want to say thank you for being here. If you have the time, I would love for you to leave a review. Hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening to us. We would love to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming podcast episodes. We have some great episodes coming up over the summer to help you be awesome, because it's not accidental, right? So thanks very much for being here. We'll see you here, same time, same place next week. Thanks, my friends. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.